I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, yeah. Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, shit.
In this meeting, I'm going to ask a few questions about how gamification will be helpful in education. So, Lana, my first question to you is, what is your view about gamification in learning?
I think gamification is a great way to learn or to get into education, because a lot of the material, at least here when I was in school and in education systems, it can be not very interesting at face value. So making it into a game that makes you more interested in wanting to get further along in the learning process can be a great way to get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Our next question is, what are the elements of a well-designed game to use in learning, for using in learning purposes?
That's a tricky one. I would say it doesn't necessarily need to be a game of itself, but I think the elements that you asked for would be having a good sense of progression, where you feel like the work you put in counts towards something, and then you have milestones that you reach along the way. So with learning, it might be, the more you study or the more you do practice progress, you get some sort of points or some kind of score, and that builds up, and then you get rewarded. Maybe you get like a new set of armor for your character, or you get maybe you get a new level, or you get something that makes you know that you're making progress in what you're doing.
Yeah, like a report card, right?
Yeah, but more fun.
there's a surprise for you. I want to play quick quiz round with you. So, are you ready? Yeah.
No, but let's go.
I want to play a fun game with you, which is around video games. Okay. So, my first question is, what's your favorite game all the time?
My favorite game of all time is Mass Effect. It's a space game. I really like it.
Good. So next, what was the first game you ever remember playing?
My first game I remember playing was Mario Brothers 1, the very first one on Nintendo. My sister had it, and I was probably too young to play, so I was really bad at it, but I kept trying, and I thought it was really cool.
Mine too was Mario. Yeah. Yeah. But we used to play in TV. Like,
Yeah.
we have a small console, not Nintendo. In India, we have small chip like consoles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, question number 3: what's more important, action or story in any video game?
Me, action is not very important at all, to be honest. Like, it's good to keep it interesting, but I think you can have a really great game without it having like action. For example, there are some mystery type games, or there are some life simulation games. Those don't necessarily need explosions or getaway chases or anything like that, but they're still really good and the story's great, or the mechanics are fun. So I would go with story if I had to pick between those two.
Yeah, nice. I love action plus story. Like, if any game has good graphics, I do play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my last question is, Xbox or PlayStation? Silly.
Ooh. I think, okay, I'm glad that there's both, because it creates a good, healthy competition. Um, that's a tough call. I like a lot of Japanese games, so those are usually on PlayStation. But I think overall I've played more Xbox than PlayStation.
Good.
I'd probably make games for Xbox before PlayStation as well.
Good.
So, Lara, do you think that gamification in learning can, influence in future?
Yes, absolutely. I think one thing that is kind of a shame is that a lot of people, when they're young and they're in school, want to learn these topics or might be good at these topics or go into a career that requires certain topics, but the format of learning is not for them and they don't have interest and they don't learn. But if we can make it more interesting for those people, then maybe they might be able to learn a topic better that they love and that they fall in love with, and that could change. We would have people going into roles that they really enjoy instead of just whatever they happen to be good at from the formal education system, or the current one anyway.
Yeah, so I also think the same.
So my question is, in what ways gamification can improve learning?
So, kind of similar to the last answer, I think that currently, at least here in our education system, it sort of relies on you need to be able to take in and understand information through reading. You need to be able to do it through listening to a teacher. And you also need to do it on a specific timeline that the school gives you, right? So maybe you learn it over 3 weeks and then you have a test, or you do 2 months and you have an exam. And that's very specific and strict, and not everybody learns in that way and in that timeline. I think a form of gamification could be really helpful, especially if it has a more lenient timeline. So if you take longer to learn math, but you learn art really fast, and you can, you level up and you get to the point where you can now take the test and pass that thing, or you could level up in math a little bit slower, but as long as you eventually get them all, then you can do it on your own pace. You can do it when it's fun, and hopefully it encourages people to learn in the way that they want to make it fun to do.
So everyone is talking about next big thing, metaverse. So what is metaverse? What is the role of VR and AR in the metaverse?
Oh, good question. I have mixed views on this, because I think that it's being, how do I put this? I think it's maybe being more hyped up than what we're really seeing, because there's a lot of excitement around this idea that there's going to be 3D spaces, and maybe it'll be decentralized, or maybe it'll be the next, we're never going to leave. We're going to go shopping there. We're going to learn there. We're going to do our meetings there. But in reality, I don't know if you guys have tried VR before, but it's really uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to be in. You have?
Yeah, I have VR.
Yeah, I don't want to be in there for longer than, maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And
it's been a lot in eyes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And so while it's really cool, I think at the end of the day, real life, you cannot replace real life. And while there may be a space for VR and different things like shopping, you could go in, you could see it on your virtual self if you can create it. But I think that we're still quite a ways away from both with the hardware of VR and the actual building of the digital worlds. That's not an easy task to do as a game developer. You know what goes into some of the things people are talking about, and it's difficult. So I think that we're far away from what people are excited about, but I'm still think it's cool. I'm still excited to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's the questions that we are asking. I am so grateful to you join us.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
Yeah. And even Facebook changed the name to Meta. That's why it's hype up like 2 months.
Yeah, that's true.